What's up, my fellow spooky folks? It's the horror nerd himself, the man of horror, also the future 2023 Face of Horror winner, manifesting. Today, I want to do a revamp list, and I'll be doing my Purge list, adding in the TV series. Let's get started. In sixth place, The Purge. The first entry in the series, this one came on the scene and introduced us a Purge Night, which is basically, the one night a year where all crime is legal, effectively allowing people to purge themselves of like their inner hate and anger. Thing is, that's the most interesting thing about this movie. The concept, right? It's not necessarily a bad film. It's just in comparison with the rest of the films in the series, it's just eh. And then also the son in this movie, annoying as fuck. Anyway, in fifth place we have the Forever Purge. This one is interesting because it's basically like the start of the purge never ending. Essentially, a group of people across the U.S. just decide to just not stop purging. Like that's just it. They're just like, we're not gonna stop. And I think this one, ironically, is like the most political in the series. It leans really heavily into racism, specifically towards like people of Mexican and Latin descent. It's overall a fun ride, I guess, but something about it, something was just missing. I don't know. In fourth place, the Purge election night. Yeah, election night was another fun one. My biggest problem with this is when the creators of Purge or whatever they started to dive into or more so put emphasis on the years, right? And it wasn't needed, honestly. And because of what they did in this one, the timeline is so fucking off. It's like where the film series is now. It's supposed to be in like 2050 or something. Like it's so it wasn't done in a smart way at all. Um, but anyways, I'll say what I did like about this one is that it was a continuation, right? This and Anarchy are the only two in the series that are basically sequels to each other. So that was cool to just kind of see where some of these characters. Well, not even some. Mostly, I think it's just two. There's like the guy in the cult and the the security guy who was in Anarchy. So yeah, we got a chance to see where they ended up and stuff like that. So it was just kind of cool to see that. Um, yeah, and third place, the Purge TV series. This one I enjoyed a lot. I haven't seen season two yet. Don't judge me. But season one alone is already better than the last entries that I just mentioned. It introduced so many different new aspects from the Purge universe. Um, there's Purge cults, there's Purge assassins, Purge game shows. Like it literally just introduces so much, and because it was done in a TV show format, it doesn't feel like too much. It's paced perfectly. So highly, highly, highly recommend. In second place, The Purge Anarchy. That's the one that I mentioned, and honestly, this one I think I honestly consider it more so the first film in the series actually because it just it really brought us into the world of Purge. Like the first movie, and I think the creators realized that was just so singularly focused on one family that eventually it kind of just got like eh. Whereas every film since has focused on multiple stories, different people coming together, and all of their different experiences. And this one really was the first one to do that. And we got a chance to follow, several characters all around, a specific city on the most dangerous night of the fucking year. Like, this one is the first, like, the actual first Purge movie in the series for me. And then last, in first place, the first Purge. Listen, while it is my favorite because it's a black horror film, it's also just a great fucking film. This one brings us the story of how the Purge got started, right? And it just grounds the series in a way that I think none of the other films did. Who wouldn't believe that the testing grounds for something like this would be the fucking hood, right? Like, that makes all the sense in the world. I totally believe it. And then also the main characters in this were really relatable. And there's just a sense of, like, community in this one. So, um, and that sense of community isn't without, it isn't in any of the other films. So, just those two things alone, totally worth the watch. The best fucking Purge movie in the series. Debate your mama. Check any of them out if you haven't, and don't forget to listen to Man of Horror. Stay spooky, folks. Peace.